It does.
Hi, this is Dave Perry, and you're watching Retro Gaming Revival live.
Good evening. It is Thursday. It is just gone 8 o'clock. It is Retro Gaming Revival a day later this week, but it's a day late and it's worth the extra wait. I promise you. We've been waiting a little while to get this one in the bag, and it's going to be worth that extra day. So before we introduce our guest of honor, let's go around the table. We have joining us back again. It's Mr. Ryan. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, hello. Nice to be back. First time in about 6 weeks, I think. So yeah, great to be here and making the effort for a guest we've been I've been talking to for about 4 months, I think. So this is, like our longest ongoing transfer to try and get him on. So yeah.
Amazing. Excellent. It's lovely to see you back, Ryan. Lovely to see you back. We have got Mr. Triangle Face Tim.
Hello.
We've got Mr. Dorbs.
Greetings.
And of course, people will notice there is one person missing there. So please, if you have seen Blunners out in the wild, the text message or number for a text message there for Blunwatch. If you want to let us know if you've seen Blunners in the wild, where have you seen him? Text that number. It will obviously charge you, but we will read it out. And if you make it fruity and funny, it could be interesting.
Please ask the biller's payer's permission before you text.
Yes, your votes will be might not be counted, and you may still be charged.
Very fine.
That's how they go with it. But anyway, before we diverge onto our first tangent of the evening, let's get straight to it. We have got with us this evening, as Ryan says, someone we've been chatting to, or Ryan's been talking to for a little while. The stars have aligned this wonderful Thursday evening. We'd like to welcome Dan, the Games Man. Welcome.
Woo-hoo. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, we finally got it. We finally managed to find a time that worked.
Excellent. And how are you doing, sir? Are you all right?
Hopefully, everything's good. I'm good. Yeah. It's been a busy day of filming today for an upcoming video, but I think it just never ends, really.
Yeah, I think we were having a few technical issues earlier, so we will run with it. There is ever such a slight delay, so people in the chat don't think we're pausing. We're just going to not talk over Dan, just in case the delay sort of kicks in again. But Dan, no, thank you so much for finding the time to be on and join us this evening. The chat has got lots of people in it there, so let's see who we've got in this evening. We've got Mr. Rob Taylor. Good evening, Mr. Rob. With Mike Holton. Sad day. Your original Xbox has died. That is a sad day. Yes. That almost feels like we need a few moments of mourning, I think.
Yeah, minute's peace, minute's silence.
Minute's peace. A minute's peace would be lovely. We've got Scott, Mr. Marathon Gamer. Hello, sir. Lovely to see you there. People turning out there for Mr. Dan. We've got Gina Bells always asking, what was for dinner, lads? Unbelievable.
Who is Gina Bells? I don't. Yes, what's for dinner, lads? On every stream now.
That's consistent. I like the consistency. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can say, but yes, Gina is consistent. Let's run with that. Anyway, so first question that we always ask everybody when they come on, Dan, is about their early gaming memories. So what is it that drew you to this wonderful hobby of retro video games, or just video games and collecting in general?
So I think for me, my earliest game in memory was playing a Mega Drive around a friend's, and I
Nice.
think the specific game was Desert Strike.
Ah, classic.
Ooh,
And
very
yeah,
nice
just been
game, yeah.
Very good.
absolutely blown away by like the graphics and the freedom because yeah, it was like the first time I think I played something in the home. I'd been to like arcades maybe before, but they never really stuck in my head. But like, yeah, the memory of that playing the Mega Drive for the first time just blew me away.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem to be a lot of people sort of our age, our generation. It tends to be either, a Nintendo or a Sega that kind of really, really drew them in. And it's funny, isn't it? Like a lot of people, I don't know. Were you on a team back then? Were you on a team Nintendo or a team Sega, or were you on a completely different team?
So I don't really think. I think nearly all of my friends had Sega consoles. So like, no one I really knew had a Nintendo. Then it was really weird. I don't know if it was just the area where I live. Like everyone was playing Sega.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the thought that everybody. I think Dawes might have put a meme up about it actually. And it doesn't matter what console you had at one point, but everyone just said it was a Nintendo. So people are always playing with a Nintendo, but it would be like a Commodore 64 or something. It's yeah, very strange. So what was the first console that you got when you were growing up?
So the first console I got growing up was for Christmas. It must have been at some point in the late 80s. After seeing my friends have a Mega Drive, I think I must have just banged on about a Sega console or a console to my parents. And one Christmas, I got a Master System. And that was my
Oh,
personal
nice.
first console of all time. I think it was the one that had Sonic the Hedgehog built in.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
it's a Master
And-
System 2, the kind of slightly stouter Master System.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about that one that I quite like. It sort of has like a little bit of like a brick vibe to it, whereas that original one is sort of really long and it's got triangles on it, and it sort of looks a bit odd. That original Master System. I think I prefer the Master System 2 look. I think it's the Master System is one that I've never dived too hard in on because I was a Nintendo kid growing up. But everyone just says what a great little system that Master System is, and there's loads of great games on it.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's really underrated. I think people still today really don't collect as hard for the Master System as they do some of the other consoles. I'm really diving into the Master System a lot more recently because it's a really cheap console to collect for at the minute, it seems.
Is it really? There's something about
Yeah.
that made me think the
got it
Master
in
System would
Genshin
be. There's something about that that makes you think the Master System would have been really expensive. I don't know why.
I don't think I've ever really seen.
I think
Master
it's
System
quite good
games out
for-
in shops and stuff.
Go on, Dan. We're
I
running
think
with
it's
the
quite
delay.
good when you're trying to get complete games. So with like, obviously, if you're looking for complete NES games with the cardboard cases, they're a lot harder to find. But with the Masters, obviously, you had that plastic kind of clamshell, so I think they stay in a lot better condition generally.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
I
go
would agree.
into CEX in not CEX, Cash Converters in Eastleigh, they've got loads of
Yeah.
Master System games
Have
in there.
they?
They've been in there for ages. Nobody ever buys them.
You see them? I never really see them in there.
So-
Yeah.
How much do they go for then? How much does a Master System game typically go for?
They're all under a
nowadays?
tenner in cases. The ones
Okay.
in, yeah, unless they've gone today, but they were certainly there a couple of days ago.
So going back to Desert Strike, so you had Desert Strike, Soviet Strike, and Nuclear Strike, and Marathon Gamer Scott has got a new one, Desert Strike. I've never played Desert Strike. I don't know if anyone's played that. That looks quite an interesting game. So let us know what that's like, Scott.
I would-
like to
I
play
would-
that one day.
Absolutely play the shit out of Desert Strike.
Desert Strike, I love it.
Amazing. If anyone else in the chat wants to come up with another type of game, change it out for a food related. We'll come up with see what other random games we can come up with the Desert Strike. Come up with another one.
We
Gina
could let
Bells will love
Gina,
it.
Gina Bells could choose the winner
Yeah.
because obviously clearly obsessed with dinner. So
Yeah. Not lunch, but dinner.
Always dinner. So from your Master System, Dan, where did you migrate after the Master System?
see, after Master System, I then turned my back on Sega and went to the Nintendo 64. So I remember my friend got a Nintendo 64 first by trading in his absolutely huge Mega Drive for collection with about 70 or 80 games. And like looking back, we are talking about every single game you would want now, like Sonic and Knuckles, obviously perfect in a box, Streets of Rage 3, just every game now that's slightly rarer or slightly more expensive. I think he traded it in for an N64 and Mario 64, and that was it. Like a Mega Drive of all those games for just one console. And yeah, I followed suit soon after.
Yeah, there's that period of all of us, I think, growing up where we can look back and think of that game or that handful of games that we had that we would trade in so that we could get the new game or the new console. And we just didn't know back then, did we, that we'd still be lusting after these older systems and older games as we got older and everything like that. It's
I think that's one of my big regrets is like just getting rid of anything, because at the time you don't think, oh, in 20 years I'll want to play that again. You just think, oh, I'm finished this game, and if I trade it in, I'll get the newest game for cheaper. And I traded in quite a lot of, like, PS2 was probably my big trade-in console. I used to trade in all my PS2 games. I just wish I'd kept them. I got some of my Mega Drive games out of the loft recently, and I was like looking at my collection and saying, I'm sure I had way more games than this. And I thought to myself, actually, I think I rented a lot from Blockbuster. So because I used to rent games from Blockbuster because it was cheaper than buying them, I used to rent games quite a lot. But then as a result, when I look at my games collection, like, oh, half the games I remember having, I didn't actually own. I rented them. So my collection looks a little bit pitiful, really.
So with your N64, that is quite a good system to sort of collect for. There's a lot of sort of rarer and harder games to get on that. Did you, with the N64 system, did you keep any of that stuff from when you were a kid, or did you trade that in as well to move into the next systems?
It's not the best. I actually only got rid of it probably about 10 years ago, and they were all box and complete, and I think I sold it for like £100 when I moved house. I think a lot of the reason I collected is because I moved around a lot for about a period of 10 years, and every time I moved I would slowly kind of offload a little bit more, and then eventually kind of got down to nothing. And I think when I traded my very last consoles, when I snapped and realized I need to buy all of this back.
yeah, it's that bitter thought of like, oh god, have I done the right thing here? I did it this was maybe 15 years ago. I also collect a lot of toys, action figures and that kind of thing, which is all in the loft at the moment. I can't remember what it was that I was desperate for, needed money for. Something to do with my car or something, I can't remember now, but I remember getting rid of all of my original Power Ranger figures, which is something I'd kept and was sort of really reluctant to get rid of, sold it all, and then was like, oh god, that was it. And then as soon as I got a job that sort of paid a half decent salary, it's like, right, I need to buy this all back now. Can't live without it. What have you put in the chat there, Ryan? Gave away 60%. Oh, perfect.
No, I gave away my whole PS1 collection. It was about 60 games. When my PlayStation 2 broke and I got an Xbox 360, if I'd tried to trade them in, you would have got pittance for them. So I just said to my dad, I'll take them all into work with you. And I remember he used to ride a bike to work, and he used to take in like 5 games a day, and then eventually it was all gone. So yeah, they'd probably be worth loads now. Stuff like Street Fighter the movie, which on PS1 I think is worth about £100 now. Just gave
Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Yeah, but like it's just one of those things, isn't it? I gave it away. I don't, someone else would have enjoyed playing those games for slightly longer. So it's not all bad.
Not all bad at all. So with this idea of sort of maybe talking about games and collecting and sort of getting that all back, Dan, do you have a favorite game and a favorite console? And the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. Your favorite game doesn't have to be on your favorite console.
See, I kind of do. I have nostalgic consoles, but I think for me, my favorite stuck with me for the longest times is randomly probably the Xbox 360. Just because it was kind of the period where we were seeing so many advances in gaming, and it was one of the first consoles I had the kind of more disposable incomes. If I saw a game, I could buy it, and it was also like the industry was pushing a lot more then. We like getting these really video games have come more and more into kind of popular culture. They were pushing what you could do in video games, and like just little things, quite large things like being able to play online, and it was just like the kind of perfect age, like kind of early teens. Had the time you could sit there and play like video games for 18 hours a day, and it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think we got most of that. There might have been a little bit of a connection issue there. But yes,
it broke up.
But we definitely got the most of that. I
did see it. Think I froze at some point there.
But no, I would agree. The 360 is, I think people would sort of look back on that, the 360 and the PS3 and that sort of era, and I don't know, it's almost like people kind of scoff at it a little bit now, which is bizarre, because it really was that was a huge leap. I seem to remember the Xbox 360 and the PS3 being quite a big leap, but I don't think we're ever going to see leaps like that again. I think everything's so close together now.
Getting Call of Duty, the first one that was on Xbox 360, just blew me away playing that game. Going from PS2 to that was just incredible. And then easily being able to play online with your friends, it was just great. Do you remember the sort of the menu system? It was like a folder system, wasn't it? It like slid across. Remember?
Yeah.
I always thought that was a shame they got rid of that. I always quite liked that.
I think that was my first time of delve into online gaming, was the Xbox 360.
The blades on the Xbox.
That's it.
It was the noise it made when you sort of went through the page as well. That yeah, I was always quite annoyed when they got rid of that as a menu system.
I do remember getting quite into Halo. I think it was Halo 3 was like the first Halo game, because I think 1 and 2 would have been on the original Xbox. I think 3 was the first one on the 360. And I had friends talk about Halo and bang on about how good Halo was. I just never played it before. And then I got the 360 and I started playing Halo 3. It's like, I didn't realize I needed this in my life. I've been missing Halo. And then I just, absolutely loved the Halo games after that.
Yeah. Just seen, I don't know if you've, someone's put it up in the chat already there, Goldtooth's new food-related game pun. So we've got Diddy Flan Racing. I'm enjoying that. Super Flan Fighter Wok Edition.
Yeah, forgot about the Wok. I don't know. What was that about?
Amazing. Yeah, keep those coming in. Keep those coming.
It's harder
in.
than I've been trying to think of some. It's harder than you think to come up with food-related puns for games.
I'm enjoying
that. I'm struggling to come up with some. So there's some very creative answers there.
There is Super Flan Fighter 2 Wok Edition. That's up there for me. Excellent. We saw the OLL boys are in the chat there as well. Hello there. Hello, Mr. John. Final Fantasy. Ryan coming in there with an absolute zinger.
That sounds better. That
very
sounds
good.
Better than,
very good.
Sounds better than the original.
Fantasy 7. Oh my god, it was there. How did you not see that?
Oh, can't believe that.
You know, you can do all of them now. So you could go Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4. So feel free in the chat to see that.
Definitely be a better game. Definitely be a better game.
Amazing. So Dan, the 360 probably being one of your favorite consoles. What would you say is your favorite game? Do you have a favorite game of all time?
It kind of changes periodically, but I think one of the games I've probably put the most time into and completed the most times ever would probably be Lilac N64, because I just
you need to get some signs up like get wrestling
any day of the week, any time. It's just one of those games I could just happily complete it anytime, one sit and go, just sit down and go, that was fantastic. It's just, it never gets old.
You might have to say the name of the game again, Dan. We saw
it's Lilac Wars. You said, is it Lilac Wars? I think I caught you say.
hold a sign up.
Hold the game up.
Oddly, I don't think we're
Yeah,
missing what you're
definitely
saying, but there's delays in between, isn't it? But you're not actually having gaps. It's just pausing and then catching up.
But then it just randomly goes clear all of a sudden.
He's gone.
again.
He's gone.
So it was Lilac Wars.
Oh,
Hopefully, I'm back
Yes, Lilac
in a
Wars.
little
We've got
bit
Lilac
now. I
Wars
still
there.
feel like I'm kind of flagging a little bit. I definitely feel like
There
my
is
internet is let down tonight.
Yeah,
Who's your provider? Got to be Virgin, surely.
So yeah, I think it was definitely Lilac Wars in the N64. It's just one of those games I could just play any time.
It's such a good title. I enjoy Lilac Wars a lot. I was a really big fan of the 3DS remake as well. It worked incredibly well as a handheld game. It didn't feel like it should have worked quite as well as it did, but it really did work really well on the 3DS. I'm seeing all kinds of food-related game names in the chat there. We've got Alan Cake. Fantastic, Scott. I like that.
Alan Cake.
That's cool. Alan Cake. That's good.
Mike
Took me a
Colton
while to
coming
get
in there
that.
with Left for Bread.
No, I'm actually on BT, but I do live in the sticks.
Oh, okay. Okay. Mike Tyson's Munch Out. Brilliant.
NBA Flan. Dude. Flan
Just
Turismo.
NBA Jam. Even NBA Jam. Golden Pie. Very good. Very good. There's some
Excellent.
cracking ones here.
There is some great ones in there. Fridge Raider. Yeah. Loving it. Right. Have we caught up with Dan enough now where we can ask the next question?
Yeah, it's actually surprising how many N64 games worked so well on the 3DS.
I think we're miles behind. Dan,
I
we're
think
having
I think
have-
Dan maybe come out and come back in again, and I reckon
Yeah.
that'll will sort you out. It did earlier. I reckon.
Turn it off, turn it on again.
Yeah, I reckon that'll sort you out.
In the
Yeah.
meantime, we'll see if we
In
can
the
find
meantime, we can play the
some food.
Manscaped advert.
No.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, we
Hey,
haven't
that's
played
live anymore, is it?
it, we haven't played it. We haven't played it for
No.
ages.
I don't even know if it works anymore. Does it? Does the code work anymore?
I don't know
I
if
don't
it
know.
works now.
While Stan sorts out that, I'm just going to play this beautiful song.
Sometimes I just pray for gaming. Sometimes I just pray for soul. Sometimes I just pray to the gods of retro gaming revival. And no one can save me now but you. Goof!
Beautiful stuff.
There we
That's
go.
lovely.
It just
That's lovely.
feels that that void whilst we wait for Dan to come back to us. I'm sure he'll be back shortly.
Scott, there, I
we-
feel like we've achieved time travel. I would agree.
May have
We've
done.
managed
should
to
have been here
slow.
A few weeks back. Should have been
We've
a few weeks
slowed time.
I know we keep having these issues with StreamYard because Blunners is always on a permanent delay as well. But
Yeah.
talking of Blunners, Dorbs, do you have any Blunwatch messages?
I have. I saw Blunners get a tombstone from Kane. He might be out for a while, but Stone Cold is bringing him some cold ones. So that's good.
All right, that's good.
But yeah, I've got some from last week that I didn't read out.
Where was
Well, hang
Blanners
on,
last
hang on.
week?
Hang on. Just seen Blunners border plane at Heathrow Airport. Said he has a spot at the Royal Rumble this weekend and is going to WrestleMania to beat the Tribal Chief.
Fucking
So,
hell.
yeah,
Speak
Very good.
of the devil. And
Oh, here he is.
shall
Here he is,
appear.
Blanners.
Dan's changed. We've changed Dan.
Yeah.
The Blunners.
Are you going
What's
to
happened?
apologise to? Oh,
What's happened?
yeah.
Oh,
the
I'm sorry,
network.
Dan.
Technical issues.
So,
We'll
yeah,
we'll
Dan's-
really trip him out, Blunners, and say you were here the whole
The whole time, yeah, in the background.
It's just his connection was not loading your screen.
Is there any
Yeah.
more food puns? I'll quite like
his
these.
yeah, Blunners. Dan's Yeah, Dan's connection was a little bit late to the point where I think it was yeah, the delay was worse than the time loop you get stuck in sometimes.
Oh, okay. It's not just me then.
No,
Doesn't appear to be.
no.
No, he'll be back. He'll be back. I'm sure he's
What's
turned
this?
his router off and back
Yeah.
on again.
Yeah, he'll be back.
What's this? Hold on, Dan's just like Blunders with a beard.
He is. That's very true.
Yeah, because you dropped
Yeah,
off and you came on. We've never seen you
Magic.
and Dan on
Yeah,
the stream
in
at
the
the
same
same
room.
time. In the same room at the same time. So you could be the same person.
It's
You
like
could be.
Mrs.
And we've never
Doubtfire. You
seen
haven't.
you- Funnily enough,
Yeah,
Gina
you're
Bells
getting
has
chased again.
disappeared now as well, and now you've appeared. Gina Bells has stopped asking what's for dinner, and then no sooner does she stop asking, Blunner's appeared.
Yeah, very
Oh,
suspicious.
magic.
Yep, very suspicious.
I'm just getting some. I'm just adding some more food puns.
You're adding
Right,
some food
to-
puns.
Whilst we wait for Dan, has anyone picked up any games the last few days that you want to share with people? I know, Dorbs, you had a brilliant charity shop find. I don't know if you've got it
I
near
did.
you
Yeah, I
in
did.
hand.
I got
Did you
these.
know?
Tarts.
Hang on. I picked these up the other day. If I can reach
Dorbs had a
them.
brilliant find.
Oh, that's good on Doors King.
I picked up Alien
This is my
Hominoid, is
favourite.
it, the other day?
Alien Home. What?
Oh, was that in a charity shop, Legends Wrestling?
Yeah, no, it was
How
£1. I've done a short on
Awesome.
it.
Pounds.
Amazing.
Such a good
Legends
game.
Wrestling.
Really
Time
underrated.
Splitters. I think I've done Half-Life the other week. Half-Life.
Very nice.
And Sonic Unleashed, but I'm not sure that was any good.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
I can answer that
I
for
really-
you. It's not a good game.
I really
Okay.
want Legends of Wrestling 2. If anyone in the chat has got a copy of it they want rid of, then please let me know.
I've got one covered in black stuff if you're interested.
What, Legends of Wrestling 2?
Why
Why are you getting
why is
goals?
it going
Games
to-
from like a coal mine. I don't understand it. What's going on?
Don't you want it then?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Father was a cool
How,
Oh,
how are your
goal tooth.
pickups going now, Ryan? How many PS2 games are you now?
With the 5 you got me, I think I'm up to about 80. I need to do another video
Hey.
with,
It's pretty good, isn't it? That's a
Wow.
decent number.
and I've only spent
80
about,
good.
I don't know, £10
like a
on that.
quid.
Pretty good.
I've got all those games.
Oh, hang on. I've got another 3. I don't think I've changed.
I got
Oh,
Rayman.
Rayman 3, yes. Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto.
You should have gone Flan Theft Auto. That would have been the obvious one.
I'm a bit bored. of
Random.
games.
Has anyone played
Robot
this
Wars.
before?
Robot
Anyone
Wars.
play this?
No.
Oh, here he is.
Right,
Our guest is
here he is.
back. Fingers crossed.
Quick,
Come on,
quick.
technology. Come on,
hang
technology.
on.
Sorts out.
Shall I disappear?
Yes.
Yes, he's back. Back in the room.
Hey, okay, I'm back.
He is back in the room.
Hopefully so. And gone straight to a frozen screen. Oh, there we go. We are moving. And
We're
look,
moving.
we have Mr. Blunners has joined us as well. So Blunners can apologise for lateness to you now.
Sorry, Dan, I was late. In the football.
That's all right. I was experiencing slight technical difficulty here in Norfolk.
Oh,
Norfolk. Oh, Norwich. You going to OOL?
Hopefully we should be back.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh yes, yeah, really looking forward to it. They got a couple of
Oh,
really
good.
good events coming up this year.
Yeah. Are you going
You.
for 2 days? Both days.
Yes,
Are you
yeah, I'm
trying
gonna
to
be
ask
there
him
both
out,
days. There's loads of good stuff happening.
Oh,
They've got a couple of events this year, haven't they? They've got one in
Mm.
February, so one next month, which is their free event, and then they've got the slightly bigger event with various creators and whatnot in April. So yeah, if you're at both of
Yes.
those, Dan, that'd be great to see. We're going to be myself and Dorbs are coming up for the April one, so that would be really really cool. Yes, Mr. Scott.
Yeah, I'm going
Marathon
to be
Gaming
there for the whole weekend.
cool.
Excellent. Yes, we'll definitely have to grab a couple of beers while we're there. Mr. Marathon Gaming there saying
Yeah, I'm
that
going
he
to
is
actually
going
have
to
it like
be...
a Saturday after party as well this year, so that'd be super cool.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes, that'd be really good, mate. Yes, we will chat more about OLL in a little bit. Okie dokie. So, now that you're back with us, we're going to throw our next topic at you, which is to ask you, what are you playing at the moment?
Hopefully.
Because you are obviously an active gamer. You're not just a collector. You're someone that enjoys playing games as well. So whether it be retro or modern, what is it that you are playing at the moment?
There is one game that I cannot put down at the moment, and that is Vampire Survivors on the Xbox One.
That's what I'm playing at the moment. Love that game.
It is
Very,
it
very
is
good.
pure addiction. It is actually quite bad. I was literally on it just before this level, just before jumping on here, and yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed at the moment.
It's a very satisfying game. I was actually talking about it just before we came live. And it's when you get the evolutions of the items, isn't it? And if you get the right combinations and then you discover the evolved item, and then you're just like wiping out the screen just floods with enemies, and it's just somehow really mesmerizing and addictive. And then you just go back in and start again. And I just found, like, I start playing it, I think, oh, I'll just do like one more run, and then I'll die, and I'll do another run. And I look at the time, it's like 1 a.m. or something. So I should really go to bed. I've got work tomorrow. I've just stayed up late playing Vampire Survivor. So, yeah, it's a very addictive game, but yeah, great fun.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games that's just one more go worthy. It's just, yeah, you always get that little bit further or just get a little bit stronger. And you kind of get to those levels you think, I'm never going to be able to do this one. There's way too many enemies. I'm way too underpowered. And then you just come back and literally just obliterate it.
Amazing.
I'm going to have to download this game because I've got Game Pass and I was just scrolling through the other day thinking, oh, don't really fancy anything on here. But if this is on Game Pass and it's that good, I'll give it a go.
I'm going to jump on Monster Hunter Rise as well if you want to join me on that. To get on a Monster Hunter Rise.
Do you want someone who you can just like beat on there every time, or is it?
No, it's a co-op game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you team up to take on the monsters and stuff. So you get like
okay, I'll download that then, and I'll give you a shout, and we'll get on that.
Excellent. Goldtooth in there asking a question of any PC Engine, Dan. So I'm presuming that's it. Yeah. Do you collect or play for PC Engine at all, Dan?
It's something I haven't really ever got into, really.
No, it's definitely nothing that I've jumped into. I know Mr. G-Tooth is a fan of that one. So there is all kinds of food related puns coming in now. Dorbs is really smashing them out there with Red Bread Redemption. Andy Davidson with Bread Space. Unbelievable.
What have I missed?
You don't want to know.
Scott accidentally typed "Desert Strike" earlier in the chat. So since then we've just basically asked people to come up with food related puns for video games. There's been some absolutely cracking ones.
Pardon the pun, but there's been some crackers.
I quite enjoyed Ryan's when he said Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, there's been some good ones. And Scott mentioned in the chat, he said, I'll be there. Is that you coming to OLL, Scott? Because if so, that would be feckin' wonderful. Right, where are we up to on the questions list? So, Dan, you have a very, very tasty games collection. So the next topic we wanted to talk to you about was game collecting in general. So at what point did you know you were collecting games, or was it something that just happened sort of organically?
So I really got into kind of collecting a lot harder with the Xbox 360, like I said earlier. It was kind of when I first started to have disposable income. I could kind of get a lot more games around a lot for like 10 years. I was finally kind of in where I knew I was going to be for a long while. And I was like, right, now I have the opportunity to kind of rebuild all of the games I've kind of lost and got rid of over the years, and just having a space for once, because like it does take a lot of space, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the 360 was sort of maybe when it really sort of kicked in for you. Did at what point did you then start going back and sort of going back over maybe some of the older consoles, older systems as well? And is that something that just sort of happened naturally as well, or was that something you thought, no, there's some systems here that I've not played for a while, or I've got a bit of a nostalgic feeling towards, and you kind of then sort of jumped in with it?
So I think I like saw like real or some
Oh no!
about Resident Evil 2, and I was like, no way to replay it. And I kind of put the feelers out on Facebook. I was like, has anyone got a PlayStation 3? And I was like, if anyone has a PlayStation 3, I can just get the PlayStation 1. I bought that copy of Resident Evil 2, and it was like really mint black label. I got it in a post. I was like, this just brings me happiness having this nostalgic thing in my hand. And I was like, I just want more of these now.
Yeah. I think that nostalgia feeling is definitely the one that sort of grabs a lot of us, especially if you have like a bit of actual attachment to the item that you're looking to procure as well for your collection. It's yeah, there's something about that particular PlayStation era as well, the first disc-based consoles. It's it's a real special time. That just checking it. Britney's Dance Meets Ryan.
Oh, brilliant.
Waka waka. Yes, there's I think with a lot of us, it's certainly collecting kind of it was either something that happened naturally because you like I'm lucky enough to still have quite a lot of the games I had from childhood, or like you said, there's just that nostalgic drive that you have where you just suddenly think, you know what, I need to play that game. We're sort of we've gone so far past now that period where you could just sort of suddenly think, you know what, I fancy playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, and you're just not going to be able to play that on original hardware anymore. I think we're at that period now where the collecting market has now become a serious hobby rather than just something people want to take a bit of a punt at now.
Oh, I didn't get it that time.
No. Oh, this is so sad. It's devastating.
It is. The connection
He's
has
frozen.
gone.
Is he frozen?
No, he's not
his
frozen.
lights are still
Is it
going.
frozen?
Oh, yeah, no, he's still going, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just gone. The lag is now. It's now very, very slow.
Oh, that is a shame.
Oh, it is a shame. It is a shame. But as they say, the show must go on.
It must, mate, as always. But it's very, very sad. The lights. Oh no, he's leaning forward.
He teleported then.
He did. It's quite interesting to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is share Dan's YouTube channel whilst he
Let's do that.
hopefully comes back.
He's smiling. That's the main thing.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to
will
work out
share
if there's
his.
anything like downloading in the background or any reason I'm running low.
Get rid of BT. Get rid of that.
Can we watch Dorbs boot up and play Final Fantasy VII? Yes, we could. We could do a live stream right now of Dorbs playing Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, I've only got 20 minutes before I have to go to bed, so. But no, I'll happily stream it one day. If folks want to see that.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
For everyone in the chat there, this is Dan the Games Man's YouTube channel. Please do head on over, give him a cheeky subscribe.
He's got some awesome content on it. He does some great pickup videos. You can see him trying to build his games room. There's some really smart stuff on here, so definitely do check it out. It's just a shame this evening that his connection has not been brilliant, because he's got some great stuff to say, but we can always get him back on here again in future. So it's not the end of the world. By we will make it happen.
Hopefully not in 5 months' time though. We don't want to wait 5 months again. But yeah, that is very, very sad.
We will see.
Oh, he's getting a.
Oh, he's coming back. Is he coming back?
He teases you with a couple of words that are really clear, and then it goes again.
I'd love to know what he's into this. Is your dial up? I'd love to know what his internet speed is.
So I've had issues before though. It's not been anything to do with the actual internet speed.
Yeah,
I
it
think
gets
it's
really.
something else. Yeah.
Oh, this is a big question. What is the most expensive PS2 game so far? Probably 50p. Maybe £1. There might be a few pound ones in there.
What's that on eFound Dorbs on your pricey games hashtag you do? Was it like £500 or something, wasn't it, for a PS2 game?
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
That's a game I've never heard of as well. I don't know why it's so expensive.
Yeah. Probably because I only made like 10 of them. But yeah, 500. I can't remember what game it was now. An army one, wasn't it? But yeah, 500 quid. Absolutely ridiculous. Who's going to pay 500 quid for that? You can get a PlayStation for that or PS4 for that.
Yeah, that's the hard thing I find with the collecting is like, if you get really into it, there's some really expensive games out there. Which, you know, if that's what you want to spend money on, then you know, then power to you. But if I look at it, I don't think a game should cost more than a console. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of probably my limit. If a game costs more than a console, I probably wouldn't want to get it.
No chance. That's mad. I shouldn't. No way.
No, I shouldn't.
No way.
Who's spending 500 quid on a game? Mad. I mean, you can just probably download it for free somewhere.
Yeah, but
Not
the
that
thing
we
is,
can say
they are like they are like antiques, aren't they? So you could say you spending £500 on a shitty painting, or you spending £500 on someone's old football shirt. You can say it about anything, and you know they are a form of antique now, aren't they?
Yeah, it depends if you're collecting. If you've got like a proper collection and you're like owning the actual physical copy of the game, it's different, isn't it? Like for me, it's more about actually playing the game. So I'm happy with, you know, a retro pie with ROMs on it or something. But
is this football shirt, is that worn? Is that match worn and signed?
Yeah, probably. Like you could. Didn't Maradona's Hand of God shirt sell for like £50,000 or something, or millions?
Jesus, what?
Yeah, it's like ridiculous.
The bloke he swapped shirts with, I can't remember who it was, but
it was millions, wasn't it? It wasn't 50,000. It was millions, wasn't it?
I'm sure it was under his bed for like 20 odd years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, you know, like for someone who doesn't like football, they're like, that's a load of old tat. But if that's what you collect, it's what you collect,
yeah, don't like tat, do we? Got enough tat, thanks.
Yep.
Got enough tat.
We do indeed.
Yeah. If anyone has some questions, do throw them in the chat. This may end up turning into a
uncensored. There you go.
An unplanned, uncensored.
What we were gonna. What was that? Sorry.
Are we going to talk about OOL? We're going to talk about that.
Well, we can do in a bit.
Yeah. Should we wait for Dan to?
He's still there. He's kicking about. Can you remember? Yeah, Sky. Get Sky. They're really good.
If he's out in the sticks, he's not going to get Virgin Media, is he? So,
no, definitely not. Definitely
not.
No, he needs to get some sort of booster.
Have we? Because we were going to cover this with Dan. This is obviously the Royal Rumble at the weekend.
And, is it on a Saturday night now?
Saturday now, yeah.
I actually get to watch it then.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, so we were going to do predictions. What were people?
I don't even know who's in it. I've not been watching WWE for ages, so I've got no idea.
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to predict Jake the Snake to win.
Wow, that's like an out there prediction.
Quite out there, yeah. Quite unlikely. But okay. You know, did he say that anything can happen in WWE? You never know.
Dorbs,
about
are you going for?
One of the few wrestlers.
Cody Rhodes.
I'm going to go for The Rock.
Ooh.
I think he's going to come back.
Is he back in it?
He's not. And my dad made a really good point the other day. My dad makes a lot of good points because I was saying to him about The Rock possibly coming back to WWE, and he was like, "How much would that cost to insure him? Because if he gets injured and he's got all those films lined up, he ain't going to be doing those films, is he? It just takes one slip or something, and then that's him."
But he ain't going to be making any more Black Adam movies, is he? Jesus Christ, that didn't go very well.
I think he's going to make a comeback, and then it'll be him and Reigns at WrestleMania.
Okay, and
I think it has been rumored, but I think that he's been saying like he doesn't feel like he's in good shape to wrestle. Like he needs to kind of do training and stuff before he's ready in time for WrestleMania. So he said he's not going to be ready by WrestleMania, but he'll do it at some point.
He's in Hollywood shape, isn't he, rather than wrestling shape?
Yeah, it's a different sort of.
Tim, who are you going for?
I don't know, but Blunder said Cody Rhodes, and actually I think that's a really good shout. I might double down on
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes is a good shout because I know they want to give him a push, and I know he came in to kind of do that last run to try and win the big one, and this would be a really good time to just get Cody to win it.
I'm going to go.
I'd really like to see that as well. I think that'd be a really good shout if he won. I'd like to see that Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I think would be a good main event.
Yeah, and I'm holding my 8-year-old daughter's Cody Rhodes figure that she got the other day because she loves Cody Rhodes.
When he came in and had that feud with Seth Rollins, actually, that was pretty decent. Like that cage match he had with Seth Rollins was pretty good. So yeah, I don't really know who else is in at the moment to give any other answers. So, but I know that Cody Rhodes is in and they're giving him a push. So it's a good shout.
He's back, isn't he, from long-term injury? So yeah, he will be back.
Is there a female Royal Rumble as well?
There is. We shouldn't be sexist. We should cover both.
We should. Yeah, we're going to predict for that.
Is Charlotte Flair in the Women's Royal Rumble, or does she currently have a title or anything?
She has a title at the moment.
Who's the one with a massive long ponytail?
Bianca Belair's got a title as
she's
well.
going to win. She's going to win.
That looks pretty clear, Dan.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
I have changed tact.
Yeah.
Wow. Perfect. He's back.
I would not recommend a Google laptop. That is my advice today, and this is why I'm retro to modern technology.
So you currently
that's what it is. That's what it was.
You're currently streaming off a Super Nintendo now.
Yeah, just off the camera on a 3DS.
Camera on a 3DS.
No way.
No, I've just gone simple. It's just an iPhone, so it will do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, there's certainly no delay. We can see you clearly, and we don't need subtitles now. So this is great. Fantastic.
Good. It only took us 45 minutes, so
That's all right. We could start the whole stream again.
perfect.
Early gaming memories.
Welcome, everyone.
We'll just do the intro music again, and we'll go again. Take 2.
And yeah, this is why I do YouTube videos normally pre-recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it, isn't it? They say don't work with kids and live TV. So exactly. So yes, Ryan's been throwing out some Royal Rumble predictions because this is something he wanted to get your weighing in on as well. So I know absolutely diddly shit about wrestling, and I've predicted that Jake the Snake is going to win.
That would be incredible. Would it be Snake one though?
Yeah. So yes, go with who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? As if I know what that is.
Do you know, I'm going to go as far to predict the final 2 in the Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
I'm fairly
Go
on,
for it.
Dan.
I think Cody Rhodes is going to win by eliminating Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's been a good consensus. I think we've all kind of been pitching Cody.
See, I think Cody will win, but I think Sammy's going to be there at the end. Sami Zayn, and his task that's going to be set by Roman Reigns is going to be you have to win the Royal Rumble so I can have the night off at WrestleMania. That's what's going to be the angle. I think.
Yeah,
Pretty juicy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We didn't do the women's Royal Rumble, did we? So we
No.
in fairness, we need to do both.
I couldn't tell you any
I don't know
female
who's
wrestlers
in it.
other than Alexa Bliss.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, good shout.
Yeah,
there
actually,
we go.
if Alexa Bliss is in it, that would be my. I would say Charlotte Flair if she was in it. I'd always vote for Charlotte Flair. But if she's not in the Royal Rumble, I'd go Alexa Bliss, perhaps.
Alexa Bliss has got a title match on the night.
All the people I'm picking have got title matches. Who's left?
And now my Alexa.
What about Becky Lynch? Is Becky Lynch
She's in it.
match?
She's in it, I think. Or
She's in it. If Becky Lynch is in the Rumble, then I'll say Becky Lynch.
Okay. I'm going to go Liv Morgan because my daughter Evie wants Liv Morgan to win. So I'm going to go with Liv Morgan.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who's just finished their contract of AEW and is going to turn up. I think it could be a few people kind of come across.
Okay. So who do you think that might be, Dan?
I half wonder if like maybe Thunder Rosa will come across from AEW.
That would be cool if she did. Be very interesting.
Exclusive.
There's a lot of nodding heads there. That seems like it's a popular opinion.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who.
Took the belt off, I don't know.
Is she 100% gone from AEW now? Then is she
Yeah,
finished?
Yeah, they took the
There's
belt
been-
off, I don't know.
There's been a lot of controversy in AEW this year.
There has indeed, yeah.
What's the controversy in AEW then? You've piqued my interest.
Well, this man caused
He
most
wants to
of it.
take it, yeah.
Whoops, not Bullrog. Him caused most of it.
Yeah.
The whole thing with CM Punk and the Elite backstage, and then there's been I think they kind of flooded the roster a little bit this year, to be honest. And I think a lot of people who were there originally feel like they've been kind of passed over. But it's still a young company, really.
So what's CM Punk done then? Was there some
So,
sort of
there was like
Get a
a
fight.
shoot interview. So there was an interview where like it was meant to be not the character, but the actual wrestler himself was doing a shoot interview, and he was just slagging off loads of the talent and like being quite vocal about disliking a lot of the wrestlers there and saying some fairly controversial things, and really sort of being quite belittling of some of their bigger stars. And saying, I think the thing that I thought was a bit off was he said that Hangman Page had not achieved anything worth noting in wrestling, and he'd won the AEW World title. So like you're saying that somebody who's won the main belt in your company has not achieved anything worth talking about. That's really putting your company down quite a bit. So I thought that was quite off. And yeah, a few of the wrestlers from the back who were like originals that helped start it confronted him backstage, and allegedly there was a brawl that ensued, and everyone got suspended. So they had about 4 or 5 people all out at the start of the year. Was it the start of the year or end of last year? I'm trying to think what it was now.
Well, no, it was
But-
it was like September last year.
Oh,
wasn't it?
right. Yes, it's quite a while back, wasn't it, actually? But yeah, they
Yeah.
brought back the 3 that were involved because they've got a trios title that they were the 6-man tag title holders, and they brought them back now. But whether CM Punk will ever be seen again, I don't know. But yeah,
interesting?
a bit controversial. So,
So it's
but with
all on
wrestling,
the
Rumors
like,
are he will
reality
be
and
back.
fiction do kind of like cross over quite a lot. And they'll often try and turn something that's like real into a story. So I do wonder whether if they do want to bring him back, that will be a hot topic. They'll do a feud with like Kenny Omega, I reckon, if he comes back, and they'll kind of build on that actual real life fight they had and turn that into a story.
Could be done.
If they do that, if he comes
be
back,
done.
I don't know. I wonder whether that will be his last run.
Well, he certainly doesn't have a career in UFC, does he?
CM Punk.
No.
Oh, go on,
Sorry,
Dan.
What did everyone think of CM Punk kind of his title run recently?
I like CM Punk. I thought his first match back in AEW wasn't very good. I can't even remember who that was against now.
That was Darby Allin?
Darby Allin, wasn't it? And then I thought his run was he was getting better, getting back to his old self. And then I thought, yeah, he's quite good. The fans loved him. Obviously, he's a very volatile character in real life, but yeah, I was quite liking his run, and I was really into AEW, like massively into it. And then last 4 or 5 months, I haven't watched any of it since they've brought in people like Jeff Jarrett and all those TNA people. I'm just like, I can't, I was watching that 15 years ago on TNA and it was garbage, and now I'm watching it now. Jeff Jarrett hasn't been relevant for like 25 years, and they're still giving him TV time, and yeah, not for me.
With the amount of talent on that roster to have like Jeff Jarrett, it just kind of seems like a waste of TV. And I think they do sometimes spread it a bit thin. I don't know, when Rampage first started, it was not must see. Like Dynamite every week you need to watch, but like Rampage was pretty poor, especially in the early days.
Although I think the best of 7 series
I watch
for
it
the
because
Young
I
Bucks
do
and
the
Death
women's
Triangle.
title. So the reason I watch it is because we got the local girl from Wyvern who's the
Yeah, she's from
is the world
Southampton,
champ. So yeah, Wyvern school. So
Oh.
She's the only
Yeah,
person from Southampton who's ever been a world champion, probably. So
yeah, so
we'll click on
that's the
to
only
that.
reason I watch.
I guess I think the best of 7 series between Death Triangle and Young Bucks has actually been really good. So that's been my favourite thing in it recently.
Yeah,
You had some really good matches.
every match has been like just been one of the best kind of series.
Yeah, what I've seen of it, it's been good.
So sticking with the wrestling theme, I believe this is how Ryan actually became aware of you and your channel, Dan. It was through the WWE Clash at the Castle event that Ryan and Dorbs went to. So I'll let Ryan sort of say how he came across your channel there.
Yeah, we were both members of a Clash at the Castle Facebook group, I believe. So apart from posts of people saying, "Where are my tickets? Why haven't my tickets turned up yet? Why can't I get a refund? Why can't I swap my seats? I paid £500 for a seat that's now worth £200." In amongst all of those, really positive posts, I saw
Sam
Dan.
White.
Oh yeah, Sam White, total legend. I wish. Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to him in that group. But he was the man. In amongst it, Dan posted shortly after Clash at the Castle. You had done a video where you had been game hunting and been to Clash at the Castle in Cardiff. So that's how I come across you.
Yeah. Such a good week. Like, the game hunting was good. The wrestling was good. The atmosphere, like, for lack of a better term, was absolutely electrifying in Cardiff. It was madness, like constant. It was crazy. I've never seen so many wrestling fans in one place.
Yeah,
it had sorry.
No, go for it, Ryan. Off you go.
I was going to say that the way I would describe it is from like going to football cup finals, but not very many, being a Southampton fan too. It had like a cup final vibe to it. It was just everyone was buzzing. The bars were, people were stood outside bars drinking. It just had. I don't know if you felt that as well, Dorbs. It just felt like everyone was, people being powerbombed through tables outside pubs.
They were, weren't they? And also, it was quite nice to wear like wrestling t-shirts without feeling embarrassed as well.
I still wear wrestling t-shirts.
That was quite good. That was quite good. Normally, sort of wear one and like, oh god, I hope I don't know what it is, but like literally just didn't care.
And we had my 8-year-old daughter with us as well, didn't we? Just so we didn't, just to Well, she loves it anyway. So just to see her face walking into such a big arena and not going to a premium event in this country, something I'd never done before. So yeah, and Dorbs, I don't think you had done before. So it was just it was just amazing.
Yeah, Dan, did you get a train home?
No, I had to drive home.
Oh, yeah, good. Because getting the trains were horrendous. There was queues galore, and they were just letting in random people, weren't they? Literally, you had like loads of queues, and like, yeah, that queue can go, and then that queue went again and again. We're like, well, where's our train?
I like how as the arena, the cheers and boos and wrestling chants just kind of carried on for an hour afterwards.
Yeah.
How long was the event then? From like the moment you go in, is it sort of just like a couple of hours, or is it like quite a long time?
3.5, 4 hours, at least.
Oh, so it is quite a while then.
Yeah, I want to say the pre-show plus the event was about 4 hours, and I had this well, you might have thought she was good, Dan, so I apologise if you did. The DJ was just
terrible.
Yeah. Awful. They're just dancing, wouldn't she? And then she'd press a couple of buttons and then dance again. It's like,
was having a great.
Yeah, it just didn't suit the vibe, I didn't think, to the event. It was,
Well,
I always find it a bit
wrestling
awkward,
theme tune,
when like they have a band or something. Like I can't remember what it was. I saw a show. I can't remember what band it was. There was a band who did one of the wrestlers' entrance songs, and they played some music there. Like they had their whole band set up on like the rampway, and it was just really awkward because like there wasn't a crowd there to, dance the music and stuff. And we just like sat there waiting for them to finish so they could get on with the wrestling. It was just a bit awkward. It was a bit of an odd thing. I don't find it often works. Even when you watch on TV, if there's like a band there and they're trying to like shout to the crowd to get the crowd goes, like the crowds don't seem to be into it.
No,
and it just makes a bit of a weird atmosphere. Then it just doesn't seem to work.
Excellent. Now, this next topic that Ryan has put into here, again, not being a wrestling fan, is going to go a little bit over my head. So again, it's just a succession of letters, really. So WWE, MITB.
MITB.
What do you think it stands for?
Ollie, what do you think? Yeah, what do you think it stands for?
I'll give you a clue. One of them is the.
Okay. Maybe it's the bollocks.
Close.
Okay.
You got
Okay.
one word right. Like mastermind, when you had the mastermind pegs, you got one word. One
Yeah.
word is right. So well done.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
WWE
Dan-
MITB. Ryan, run
yeah,
with it.
Money in the Bank, which is
Oh,
one of their premium events, is going to be at the O2 Arena on the 1st of July, I want to say,
Oh, is it?
this year.
Mhm.
And tickets aren't on sale yet. So yeah, still waiting for that to happen. So it's just to see your thoughts on that, Dan. Do you think this is good for the UK wrestling scene, and do you think WWE will be back again?
Oh, 100%. Like I kind of presumed I'd read online. I think there's been so many like dirt sheets and rumors online about stuff. Like I'd read somewhere they had a deal with the Principalities. It's going to be years. I thought it'd be like kind of how they've always done UK themed pay-per-views. I used to have Rebellion and Capital Carnage, stuff like that. So actually having like one of the big pay-per-views in this country, it's not like a smaller one. Like Money in the Bank is a huge event. Like I think by the time we get to Money in the Bank, the WWE is going to be totally different. Like, if anyone could call who's going to win Money in the Bank now, that would be an absolute miracle. And yeah, just to have the event in this country is massive, to be honest.
Jake the Snake again. Or
Right, I'm gonna
the only other
call
one I
it
can remember is the Bushwhackers.
Yeah. Very good.
I'm going to go with Austin Theory winning Money in the Bank again.
Do you think he's going to
Did
do
he
it
win
again?
it last time, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of botched it. I think he's going to win it again because Reigns won't be champion by then. That's
Ooh.
my guess. We can watch this in 6 months' time and see if I was correct.
We'll be doing
Anyone?
one after Money in the Bank and kind of see how wrong or right we were.
Okay, so Dan, who, if you had to take a punt on someone now?
Do you know, I would go for Sami Zayn. I think next year is going to be the year of Sami Zayn.
Okay, good call. And Blunners?
I don't have a clue. I don't really know WWE.
Just say someone in WWE.
Yeah. What do you
We'll let you
Come
think
back,
about
planners.
the Usos. And Tim?
I was going to say Sami Zayn as well, because I was
don't
going to
know.
see them turning that
Yeah.
into a good angle where he's kind of going around with a briefcase, and then it's going to create tension in the bloodline. But I'll give a different answer, as that's what Dan said. So maybe Kevin Owens. I feel like Kevin Owens deserves like another run at the top, because I really liked when he was like doing that all the sticks with Jericho. He then kind of got pushed to the side quite a bit and disappeared into obscurity for a while. They tried to bring him back and have a few feuds with Reigns and stuff. So yeah, I think Kevin Owens having Money in the Bank, I think, would work with his character quite well as well, because he would be able to milk that for a while if he was a Money in the Bank holder. So they could drag that out for quite a while, I think.
Okay, and Dorbs?
Tyson Fury. I think 'cause they seem to like to have him on quite a lot of the.
We're forgetting that it's in the UK as well, aren't we? Maybe that's a tell.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Butch or Sheamus or Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
that's
Drew
in the
McIntyre,
UK. Yeah, maybe we're missing a trick here.
Who did Tyson Fury punch at Clash at the Castle?
Austin Theory.
That was the person that was running down the thing to try and. Is this what Money in the Bank is?
Yes.
You've got like a briefcase and you run down and you can. I might have remembered something Ryan's told me there, where you can then cash in on a title fight at any point.
Yeah. So inside the briefcase allegedly is a contract for an open challenge for a title, so you can literally just start the match at any point. So what will often happen is if someone's just finished a match and they're tired and they've just finished a long fight, the Money in the Bank owner will run down and cash in and then pin them while they're still on the floor or something. Try and cheekily win the title. Doesn't always go that way, but majority of the time they tend to be opportunistic and cheekily win it when someone's tired.
I've heard Austin Theory still unconscious in the stadium, so hopefully he'll wake up soon. Wish him well.
I remember reading after Clash at the Castle, one of the original plans was he was going to cash in that night and make it a triple threat. and that was how Drew McIntyre was meant to win the title, by pinning him.
Ah, yeah.
And then, like, Roman Reigns still looks strong, doesn't he? He can actually get pinned.
Hmm.
They should have let Drew win the world title in the UK, 100%. He'll never get another chance for that unless they do it at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, moving away from wrestling into something that I might have a bit more of an understanding of now. I believe Mr. Dorbs or Ryan would have thrown at you our hashtag for our next segment for you, which is our Waller's Remasters. This is where we get people to pick up to 3 games. They can be old games that you think deserve a remaster or a remake for a new generation of gamers. So what games would you pick for this this topic?
Okay, so I really racked my brain with this one. I've gone fairly recent. I think the first game, which I think a lot of people missed out on, was definitely limitations to the hardware at the time, but that was a game called Bridge Box. It was like Grand Theft with nuclear weapons.
Wow.
But, like, just imagine it now with the destructibility that game had, with like a new game engine, be absolutely just insane. It was like tanks and helicopters, and the physics were good. Xbox, like with the hardware now, absolutely amazing.
Okay. Are there any other titles you want to throw in there?
So there's a lot of titles I think Nintendo have let die time. But I think one of the ones that I missed the most, which I think the last time we saw this title was on the 3DS, but I really want them to make or just do a remake of Pilot Wings from the N64. I just think it was such a good game, and I just don't understand why Nintendo don't bring it back. Like, if you had it on the Switch, you could use the Switch with its tilt literally to fly. I think it'd be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Pilot Wings is an untapped resource. That Pilot Wings Resort on the 3DS, that was the last one, I think, is such a good game. I mean, you can literally pick it up for £3 now, and it's such a good game. It's really, really entertaining. Yeah, couldn't agree with you more on Pilot Wings. Do you have a third you want to throw in there?
I'm going to pull it back to wrestling here and say the most obvious wrestling remaster of all time would be just a No Mercy game with today's graphics. It's just a no-brainer. But because we've got the AEW Fight Mercy engine, if you pull that off, that's going to be just absolutely amazing.
When does that AEW game come out?
I thought it was already out, wasn't it?
No, it hasn't got a release date yet.
Oh, I thought it got released. Must have just in pre-orders then.
No, there's rumours about it going on Xbox Game Pass.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like Games Pass. I'll definitely jump on that.
It's like Dan was saying, it keeps getting delayed, I think, doesn't it?
It's made by the same people, wouldn't it? Jukes and AKI, is it?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a game of that like engine, if you will, for a long time. So all the WCW ones and the WrestleMania 2000 No Mercy, they're all that same sort of system they had on the N64. All of them are brilliant games. Really good wrestling games.
Oh, 100%.
Look at that. Yeah. That's the one I remember playing the most because
look how good condition that is.
Mate,
that is. Yeah, wow.
I used to really like doing on. I think you could do it on both of them, but I remember specifically doing this a lot on No Mercy. Is that you could actually edit the original roster. You can make all the correct wrestlers, but then you could also edit the roster. And me and my mate literally just changed everyone, so we made our own wrestling company and just reskinned everyone. And you can change their name and their haircut, so you just had their moveset. And we just recreated the entire roster and made up our own wrestling company, which we kind of carried on going through different games. That was quite good fun.
Amazing. And then another segment that we like to throw at people now, which is Liam's Love to Hate. So this can be a selection of games that you know are not particularly well received, but you just can't help yourself. You keep going back in for more, like an abusive relationship.
What?
That's a weird.
With that, isn't he, there?
That's a bit of a dark turn there, Ollie.
Well, you know, why not?
I think I kind of know. I think the all out because I know it's terrible. It is terrible, but I want it to be better.
So you keep going back in.
It's like eventually, once they've patched it about 5 or 10 years, it will be the game we need. But it's just grind as well. Like you'll have a great time for like 10 minutes, and then you'll go back to 4 hours of grinding for everything.
Yeah. Isn't there the rumor that that's meant to be getting, or is getting, like a huge overhaul, or has it had its huge overhaul now?
I think it does. Like it does periodically, like they break like 6.
Yeah.
Classic MMO. It's never quite.
Okay. Because they keep sort of saying it's getting these new updates and all this new stuff's coming to it. I've kind of put it off. So I literally didn't even play it when it first came out. But you know, eventually it's one of these games. If they patch it well, I could see myself sort of going into it a little bit. But until then, it's just sort of a bit. It just sort of feels a little bit broken. Maybe I think I don't know. Is it still broken?
It's not as broken as it was. I played it very, very early in its release. It was terrible. But like a couple of friends, like you get rolling on it and things are going well. It's absolutely when it's 100%, absolutely. But also by yourself, it's very lonely. It's weird. I know it's like all-out game and it's post-apocalyptic, but it's just not a game to play by yourself.
No.
It's a shame it's not cross-platform as well. I think the main failings of the bit is it doesn't have cross-platform play, which is a real.
That is a real drag. I can't think of any company that would not do something cross-platform now. It just feels like the easiest no-brainer thing to do for any game with multiplayer. I don't understand why you would limit the amount of people that you can play it with. Essentially, that just seems like a really bad idea.
I think you've just summed up Bethesda.
Yeah, that all of a sudden doesn't seem like such a good acquisition now on Microsoft's part, does it? When you sort of pump all those millions into that. And as soon as we're on the topic of Bethesda, it's this topic now is this idea that because they've bought them, is Elder Scrolls going to be Xbox only moving forward? Does anybody actually know? Has there been any rumblings of that actually happening?
I think if
there hasn't been any rumblings about it.
And that really basic trailer as well. It's one of those games that's kind of been in development hell for quite a long while now, it seems.
Yeah. I think we were talking to Ash Millman about it, and it is probably one of these things. That franchise is something that would push me to buy an Xbox. This is the first generation for a long time that I've not gone multi-console straight away. I've just kind of decided I'm just not going to do it because I like my Xbox, but my Xbox One, I think I've got maybe 12 games. It just feels like doesn't feel like I've sort of really gotten my money's worth out of my Xbox One. I actually play a lot more 360 games now on my Xbox One, so you could say I'm getting my money's worth out of it now, but it's playing old games. So yeah, I've not gotten a Series X, and there's a handful of games that I'm sort of really tempted by, things like Halo.
Halo's good.
The new Forza Horizon looks mind-bendingly good. But Elder Scrolls, man, if that doesn't come to PS5, I think that would be a game that I would pick up a Series X for immediately. So maybe making it go Xbox only is a good idea, because people like myself will end up forking out all that money just to play it, because you can't not have it.
I still don't feel like I've had the game or the franchise that's pushed me over the edge to get an Xbox Series X or a PS5. Just haven't quite had that yet. I've got too many titles that are still good to play on the older systems, so it doesn't justify the extra spend because of how much they cost. So nothing's yet. Maybe go, now's the time.
I think my kind of shoot themselves in the foot, because you can play a lot of games on Series X using the cloud on the Xbox One, which seems a bit counterproductive by them.
Yeah. Why would you buy a Series X if you can play it via the cloud on your Xbox One? Yeah. I mean, unless it's, I don't know, because I'm a big advocate for the physical media of everything, and there's nothing quite like plugging the system into your TV and having it run really, really well. There's a few people that are sort of still on the fence around even picking up a new sort of console at the moment, getting a Series X or getting a PS5. And I've sort of always taken the idea that if you've got a 4K TV that's a really nice TV, then yes, the upgrade is totally worth it. Even if the graphics aren't the biggest leap forward, the color palette and the ray tracing and the depth of color is absolutely worth it. The higher frame rate is absolutely worth it. But yeah, like you say, if you're trying to appeal to that market, being able to allow people access to this material via the cloud seems like, well, you're not going to shift more Xboxes that way. Because the other option that Microsoft have, which is a great option, is the one that Ryan's got. You've got the Series S. Like, fantastic system. But there we go. What do I know? I'm not in charge of Microsoft.
It is good. I find Game Pass a bit overwhelming at times, unless people recommend games for you. You spend like half an hour just scrolling through all the games that are on there, and then you're like, well, I can't bother to play anything now, then just turn it off. So yeah, it's a little bit overwhelming, unless people like Dan and Tim have recommended that vampire game this evening. So I'll definitely go away and download that and give that a go.
Yeah. I think there's another one. It's a very easy pick up and play one. So you could play that for like half an hour and then walk away and then come back and play another half an hour another day. It's not one of those games you'll like play a lot. You're committing to some sort of really long story campaign. That's the thing I find. I really like my long story campaign kind of games and single player. And they're just, like I said, just sport for choice on Game Pass. Like, I just don't know which one to play. And I'll start a game, get so far with it, but actually I'm going to play something else now.
Yeah.
Having the games digitally does kind of cheapen them a little bit. Like, I used to find when I had Steam on my PC, I'd just buy so many games like cheap and they're in the sale and they just sit on my PC so long. I think there's definitely more to be said. When you physically buy something, just feel more of a kind of drive to play it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that front. I've said it about. I mean, I still think Game Pass is one of the best deals that you can get going for gaming. We've said it so many times, that idea of, if back when we were kids, you could only afford like 1 or 2 games a year. Sometimes even you get one for Christmas, maybe one for your birthday. You price that out over the year. That's the price of Game Pass. So for most families can generally find sort of £10 a month for something. So it is a really good deal. But I totally agree with you on the idea that it does sort of slightly cheapen it. I feel that way about digital music as well. If I had Apple Music or Spotify Premium or something, I don't think I'd ever listen to an album properly ever again, because I just listen to it once and then move to the next album. Whereas when I buy the album, it's either in my car or I'll upload it to my phone, and I actually listen to it quite a lot and get into it. And I find that the same with games. I feel like even games that I'm not overly fussed with, certainly I've just finished Callisto Protocol, and the game's fine. Like, it starts well, it sort of gets a bit meh in the middle, and then it ends and you're like, oh, okay, that was 8 hours. But if I'd downloaded that as part of a streaming service, so the chances are I might not have finished it. And there's something even about having an okay experience with a game. I still want to finish it. I don't, even games that I don't enjoy, I will still sometimes sort of push through to finish, simply because I bought it. But yeah, I do think the digital only era does kind of cheapen things a little bit. I do agree with you there.
Games Pass, so many of the really big titles on day one. Like, I think one of the games I'm really looking forward to this, Atomic Hearts. I haven't pre-ordered it because it's going to be on Games Pass day one. Like, a good way to trial some of these games before you buy the full game. Like, the number of times I've been burnt with like a full price game about just not enjoy it. I think there used to be a lot more demo, and it just seems like they're that available as much now. I know with EA Access, sometimes you spend the first 10 hours of a game, but I think it does give you that that ability to be able to try games before you buy.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely some other some other comments in the chat there. Mr. Goldtooth disagrees. He Devane Digital makes it easier than pulling it off the shelf. Mark goes blind. Digital's much more convenient. So yeah, it's going to have its 100%. I completely agree with that comment. The PlayStation service is absolutely fine if you do the basic one and just do PlayStation Plus basic stuff, where it's like $5.99 a month or £34 a year, where you get your couple of free games. Like, that still for me is the best deal that PlayStation offer. It's leaps and Game Pass is leaps and bounds above the best version of what PlayStation offer, without a shadow of a doubt. It's bizarre, isn't it? Like, some people are quite happy to go digital, some people are quite happy to keep the physical. I just can't let go of that physical console and that physical games. I just can't do it. I don't feel like I'm ever owning the game properly either. There was that Xbox.
Well, I think that's definitely the part of it, is like owning it, because with all like the online stores like gradually closing down for old consoles and things like that, like shutting different web stores, it's like, at any point the service could take away. With Game Pass and Games with Gold, you can play games. You stop paying for Game Pass, all that library's gone. So you don't actually own the game. You're allowed to access it while you're paying for the subscription.
Yeah,
so it is more like it is a subscription, isn't it? It's the same as Netflix and things like that. You don't actually own the film; you own the subscription. Which I think, like I say, value for money wise, is brilliant. But you don't own the games. You're not building a collection that way. So if you want to build a collection, you want to go physical.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So talking of physical games, Dan, what's the rarest game you have in your collection?
Ooh, it could be some of the Virtual Boy games. They are so difficult to get hold of.
Okay. Do you have any that you can show us, or are they sealed?
They're all behind glass.
I got two.
Okay.
I have Wario Land,
Street Fighter,
and Boxer. They're the 3 games I've managed to find over
Amazing.
For the Virtual Boy.
Amazing.
I've got a fairly good Virtual Boy collection on my Oculus Quest. So you can get a Virtual Boy emulator on the Oculus Quest, and I've got some copies of games on there. So I've got quite a decent collection there. But obviously not the actual games, it's just like the ROMs.
Yeah, Mr. Blunners is the only other besides you, Dan. Mr. Blunners is the only other person I know with a Virtual Boy.
the size of this thing.
It is absolutely enormous.
How did they think that was a good thing? I just, what the fuck?
It's awful.
One of the worst games I've ever played.
The controller's good though.
I recommend playing it just to see how bad it is. And that was Waterworld, the game on Virtual Boy. I played that on a ROM, and it was just, I had no idea, it was just awful. The graphics were really bad. I was trying to figure out what was going on. It was, not a great game at all.
You should have realised, because the film's like the worst film of all time.
I was really intrigued to play it because it's on the list of games I had, and it just made me think of that bit on The Simpsons where Milhouse goes to play that Waterworld game. And he puts like loads and loads of coins in and walks forward 2 steps and dies.
I mean, that sums up the movie, doesn't it? The movie was, that was something. That was something. I had a Virtual Boy 10 years ago. It's one of those systems that I just don't know many people that have got. Excellent. And yes, Eugene the Goat, yes, come full circle now. VR headsets through again. Yes, they are. They are all back through again. But at least these ones, the new headsets, you can at least put on your head. Whereas the Virtual Boy is, the only person I've seen.
Goggles.
Yeah, the only person I've ever seen attach it to their head was AVGN, Angry Video Game Nerd, but he duct taped it to his head. That's the only way to play it.
I have to say, if you ever get an Oculus Quest, I definitely recommend getting the head strap, getting an extra one. I'll show you mine I've got here. So I've got the next one here.
It's mad.
I've got, if you see Blunder's one he's got there, let's go. Let's get the cable that way. This is the third-party sort of head strap that you click on the back. And you see that's a lot more sturdy, and that bit goes over your maybe back of head. You've actually got like
It's about
cushion
100
bit
quid,
back
man.
there. No, I think I got this for like 35 quid. So you can shop
Oh, the
around a bit.
official one's
I find that
£100
so
with an
much
extra
more,
caption on it.
comfortable having the proper head strap for it. Stays on a lot better.
Excellent. Okay, well, Mr. Dan, I
I
am.
love
I am very aware that we have stolen an hour and a half of your evening. The internet's
about 45 minutes on.
Yes, the internet's been ropey. Someone mentioned you might want to get another hamster to sort of get the internet wheel running a little bit harder.
Not a problem being in deepest, darkest north. The internet is still dial up here, unfortunately.
But no, Dan, it's been absolutely wonderful to talk to you. I know there's been some there's been a few hiccups along the way, but hopefully we'll be able to get you on again, and we'll go for a round 2. I still feel like there's loads we need to discuss. There's loads in your collection that we need to see. But yes, with Ryan been chatting to you for a few months. This has been a long time in the making, and we're absolutely delighted and thrilled to have been able to have had you on. And yes, hopefully we'll be able to have you on again soon. So for anyone in the chat, please head on over to Dan the Games Man's channel. Give him a little cheeky subscribe if you don't already. As Ryan said earlier, there is incredible content on Dan's page, and those subs are just shooting up for you at the moment, dude. So let's keep that momentum train running for him. So the oops, sorry, dude, I cut you off there.
Got some really big things happening this year, so yeah, definitely head subscribe and come along for the ride. This year's gonna be big.
Excellent. I like it when people say that. I like it. The tease, the tantalization of that. Excellent. So keep your eyes on Dan's channel. The link to Dan's channel is in the description if you want to go for it from there. Do you have any other socials or any videos you want to tell people to keep an eye on that are coming out at the moment?
So I'm heading up to Doncaster Gaming Fair next Sunday, so hopefully they do a really big video there, and that's where I'm hoping to pick up some big heavy hitter games off my want list. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So hopefully the video drop probably the week after that, and I'm gonna go in hard on that one, hopefully.
Excellent stuff. And then, as we said, sort of quite maybe midway through, you're looking to be at OLL as well. So hopefully we'll be able to meet up and do something at OLL as well. So, right. I always say I should get this all sorted out well in advance, get into the outro there. So yes. So all that is left to say from us is good evening to everybody. Thank you for everyone in the chat. The chat has been really active this evening, which is really, really great. It's great to see so many people in there. Some big love for lots of other creators there. So Dan, just again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And you're more than welcome. And we shall see everybody in the next video. So good evening, everybody.
Ciao.